Profits that organize events, we go and set up a table there to talk about if anybody's interested. We usually do that. So, and like we organize a walk every year here. We're organizing a dinner this year. So those are like some of the ways in which we organize. But there are other action centers that even raise money through organizing a DJ party or anything that people are interested in,
Yeah.
So,
The idea is really to spread awareness and raise funds. These are the two main objectives.
I have a question. So if CRY is a non-profit organization, so the money that you guys get, but other than like giving it to other organizations to help kids, do you guys like use some of that money to like not only invest but like to put into like advertisements to get the word out more, or is it just to help kids, or do you like use it for like commercials or like shirts or something to get the word out to make it aware?
Usually the commercials and the shirts, we try to get sponsorships for those. So most of the money that's put into that is not coming out of funds. It's mostly sponsorship. But yes, like you do need to spend a little in order to
Get the word out.
get the word out and raise much more.
Yeah, absolutely. And it runs more or less like an organization, like a for-profit organization. We have certain costs that we would incur to operate the entire organization. We have very few employees. Like right now, we have 3 employees that actually work for CRY, and we have about 900 plus volunteers across the country that actually work towards raising funds. And there's
Volunteers.
these are all volunteers. So when I was talking to you about my role as the national volunteer rep and the leader across the country, basically there are 28 action centers, the chapters that are across the country, and they have volunteers within them and for each of these chapters, and then this whole entire organization sort of like runs like an organization.
I have a question actually. So I was gonna ask this earlier. I'm sorry for bringing it up now. So we already talked about how the government cooperates with CRY, but how does society in general cooperate with CRY? Do they accept CRY's actions? Like for example, the people who children are used as laborers, but the people who inflict that pain on them, what happens to them? Like, does CRY try to change them, or does CRY involve the government in that kind of stuff? Like, what happens to them?
This brings back the point which I made about first like educating the parents and the societies, and then bringing about change in the children's lives. So it all happens holistically, and it's more sustainable that way. So we don't just pull out children from their labor and say that you go to school now, because that's not going to help them. The parents, the societies are educated, health plans are put in place, hospitals are brought in, volunteers, doctors, everybody is brought in, and the whole change happens holistically. So that's how, and wherever possible and if required, the government and the policies are changed. Government is brought in, the policies are changed. So that's how it works.
So, have you seen a change in society's cooperation? Like, I would understand it from the very beginning of CRY, how people weren't really that cooperative, they didn't really like the idea. Do you see more and more people starting to cooperate with that actions that CRY?
I think both the things are happening as we are solving issues. There are new issues coming up too. But yeah, we are definitely seeing a lot of impact. I can talk about a project that I visited actually, and they talked about a small change. To give you an example, there is already a policy in place by the government that a lot of these schools, like even the private schools in India, there are certain quotas for children from any walk of life with any background to have few seats that are reserved for them in those schools. And this is something which they do not advertise that as much, and a lot of people do not know. So CRY partnered with an organization that actually raised awareness about it and actually helped and guided a few children to understand that fact, and they created some, not exactly protests, but very silent ways of like telling those schools that we will also apply, and here is our application, and you would have to and this is our right, you have to consider. That's why we really take it to heart when we say child rights in you, because we feel like it's not something which you're doing a favor to. It's more about this is my right and I need to get it. And they were able to successfully get admission to a private school where people would have to pay tons and tons of money actually. So those are the kind of small elements that we change. And to answer your point directly about how people are changing, I really hope so. With these kind of changes coming into picture, and with the media becoming stronger and stronger, social media becoming stronger and stronger, I feel people are getting to appreciate and know about all these things, and they understand if they do not do it, what will happen. So I hope holistically, with the changes that are happening across, probably it will change people's mindset and things will not repeat, and we will have a better place to live in.
When CRY was earlier called Child Relief NU, and we changed the name later on to Child Rights NU because we felt that the relief approach was more like addressing the symptoms of issues with children, like symptoms like malnutrition or child labor. All that is a symptom of showing that there's something wrong with the society. The child rights approach we felt was more to do with the cause of those symptoms, like why is there child labor or why is there malnutrition? That's because there's, there's discrimination, gender discrimination, racial discrimination, all kinds of such issues. There are innate issues with problems related to people's awareness about child rights or human rights, so to speak. So that's the reason we brought it. We started calling it Child Rights, and we felt that actually touches more people. So Child Relief actually treats children as objects of sympathy, wherein we are doing something to make their life better. But Child Rights actually says that they are citizens of our world and they have an equal right to opportunity, and we need to treat them with respect. So giving that focus actually made people probably relate more to this whole.
So like it goes back to the quality, not charity kind of thing.
Exactly. Equality, not charity.
Quality, not charity. So well, see, I forgot again what I was going to ask. It was so good. It was such a good question. Oh yeah. Okay. So basically, what you're saying is like instead of actually changing the children or supplying them with food, you're trying to change society, basically.
Exactly.
Changing the government, so making the environment better for children.
Exactly.
Okay. You got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.